So the one thing that like one thing we'll do for our high-end clients is we have like a setup period. So the setup period is like we go through the blueprint call, which I'm working with a client right now that's like a really intricate build. They do about 6.5 million a year. And so his build is taking like we already did a 2 hour call Wednesday, a 2 hour call today, and then we have an hour call Monday to wrap up. Because there's like so like there's literally six pipelines and they're very intricate across different softwares. So when you have like really big builds like that, one of the things that I was telling him is like we'll do because he's in the group, so he got like the SASO discount. But I was telling him like his boss better say thank you because he got him like a huge discount. But like when we do those custom builds for clients, they'll run about between 6 and 20K, right? And so part of the reason like that we can justify a high setup fee is because they'll pay that fee and we'll fly out and spend a week with them. So we'll fly out to their place of business. We'll spend a week with them and then we'll basically document everything they're doing. We'll interview all of their people. We'll basically tell the boss, what do you do? Great. Now shut up and go away. Employees, what do you guys like and dislike? Like rag on your boss because if we can make this perfect for you guys, you're gonna make him a lot of money. You're gonna make her a lot of money, right? If you
Mhm.
guys are happy. And so we'll stay with them, map out the whole thing, and then we'll build it, test it, whatever. And then we go into stuff. So phase one is the blueprint call, like mapping out the whole thing, interviewing everybody, making sure everything is perfect, seamless across the board. We've considered every variation. Like if I showed you this guy's map that we're building, it's like the biggest map we've had by far. Like it's huge.
Wow.
There's again six pipelines. Every pipeline has like easily 10 to 15 automations. And then that's just GHL, not even including the Zap automations and the stuff we do in his CRM. So they love it. But one of the things that we'll do is we have that blueprint period, then we have the build period, then we have the standby period. So the standby period is okay, we've built it. Now we want to make sure that rubber has hit the road. Do you guys actually like it? Where are there any holes in the process? Because again, there's so many things, right? So they're very happy to pay a high setup fee and then a nice, decent retainer. And so what we'll do is once we get out of that build phase, because again, we spent a week with them, we're talking with them, we get to know them, right? When we go in that build phase, we spend time with them, we're getting to know them. Once we're on that standby phase at about day 30, we'll have an automation to send them a custom gift. And so
Oh,
we're notified, hey, like again, that gives you, let's say it's a big build like this one, right? A week to map out, 2 weeks to build, and then an additional 4 weeks. So that's 7 weeks total. If I can't think of something personal to get you after working 7 weeks with you one on one, like, you know,
yeah.
what are we doing here, right? And like we'll look at like their social media pages and we'll try to see like what they're fans of, and then we'll try to bring that up in conversation too.
Nice.
Because I want to confirm like you actually are a fan, you didn't just repost something on accident.
Nice. And
So,
also I got paid for my client, the one I
oh,
told
very
you.
nice.
Yeah. So money in hand.
Yeah,
So
that was a nice ticket too. Do
yeah.
you want to share with everybody? Or do you want to keep it private?
I don't care. I mean, it's not
You
that
can
big of a
flex. Yeah, I mean, let them know. Let them know. I'm gonna make her brag a little bit.
deal. Well, I don't even know where to start. I basically just have a cleaning client that she owns a cleaning business, a big ass business in another state other than mine. And she was trying to do it on her own. She has a marketing person, and then she ended up sending me, her marketing person ended up sending out like 14,000 messages because she made an automation go live and it sent everything out for an entire year of all the holidays and all the things. And I'm on her list because she's got a big business and I kind of follow her. And I got all these emails, like 45 emails, and I messaged her and I'm friends with her. And I said, hey, I just got like 45 emails from you. I don't know if you know this. I just wanted you to know. And so then she's like, we need to meet with you ASAP because I'd given her my price before and she didn't want it.
Yeah.
So then she met with me and I quoted her. Um, and
Say the amount. Say the amount.
so I actually quoted her $6,000. And the setup's like 95% done. I'm just going to do a few things to fix it. And then I'm going to build out some of her other stuff. And I'm going to fix a couple of the automations, like the one that went out with 45 emails. I'm going to fix it so it goes out the right way. And then she already paid me five, and she's going to pay me the other 1,000 when I do her hiring pipeline, and which I already have set up.
That was one of
And
the first things you built when
yeah, it
you
was
and
one
I
of the
met.
first things I built, and it works nicely. And I have a client that's already using it. It works great for her. with the outcomes, which they love, which is Alex's thing that he taught us how to do. And then she's going to, so she has her own GHL. Like I'm not even like, she's not underneath me. She has her own stuff,
Right.
but I'm also going to keep her on as a client for like $300 a month just to do monthly audits.
Beautiful.
And all I have to do is an audit once a month.
How's that feel closing a 5K client? I mean 6K, but how's
Um,
that feel with 5K coming in?
so it was intimidating. Like she's a big business. Like she
Yeah.
makes like three, I think she's like three, I think she's like a $3 million company.
Yeah.
She's bigger than me. And so um it was intimidating. I met with her salespeople yesterday
Hmm.
and it was intimidating because it just wasn't one sales rep. It was like six of them.
Yeah.
So it was six of them and then her operations manager and then it was her as well.
Yeah.
And so it was something new for sure. It was
Yeah.
definitely outside of my comfort zone. Uh and I did really well, but there were some things like I would, like and I there were some things I wish I would have done better, but they seemed really happy. Like she's,
Hmm.
seemed there was not a point at all where I was like felt like I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah. And see, when you fall into that role of like being perceived as the expert, you don't have to know everything because the expert is going to be a trailblazer. You're not going to have seen everything, but the fact
Mhm.
is that you've seen enough to where they trust you to be the individual who is going to go out and learn the more things, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to let's say a foreign country and you hire a guide, right? The guide doesn't have to have traveled every square foot of the country you want to go to because you
Mhm.
know if something happens, the guide is going to understand the culture and navigation and the best practices better than you are. So you don't have to say, oh, let's say you have a guide take you through the Amazonian jungle, right?
Mhm.
The Amazon, right? You don't have to be like, oh, you haven't walked on this square foot. You just have to know, okay, when this happens, I do this, or here's where we go, or here's how we circumnavigate this, right? Or oh, we went the wrong way. Let me try to double back. You're not going to know any of those things in the jungle. So I would rather somebody who 80, 75, 60% knows what they're doing versus my 0%, right?
Yeah.
And so in being perceived as the expert, you're also acknowledging what you don't know and what you can solve. I had a call today with that client, right?
Mhm.
And we're going through, they use a software called JobTread. I've heard of it, I've never used it.
Mhm.
So we're looking up at it and we're going, okay, we have to figure out this automation where when we send an invoice out in JobTread, it triggers in GHL the follow-up sequence. Well, they don't do invoices in JobTread. What they technically call it is a document, and they call it document deposit status pending. So we had to add a filter that did that. Before this call, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But who do you think he felt more comfortable going through that jungle with versus him doing it on his own, right?
for sure.
And so what you'll see in that kind of like, and I appreciate you sharing because that kind of helps me segue into like what we're going to talk about, which is how do we attract those dream clients? How do we attract those clients that have no problem paying high ticket, even if they have a lot of people hopping on the call? Again, if they were trying to figure out if you're competent, they wouldn't have wasted their team, right? They wouldn't have wasted their time saying, "Hey, let's have six people figure out if she's competent." It would be more so like, let's have one. Is she, is she an idiot, or do they actually know what they're talking about?
Right.
And then you get to the next level, which is okay, now we have multiple people, right?
It was also difficult just in the sense of like it was new. It wasn't really difficult. Like I didn't have any. It was just new in the fact that there were so many people just
How
listening to me.
exciting. How exciting, right?
So it was like shit. Everybody and one thing I don't like is I don't like to be the spotlight very often. So it was like if I'm doing it, it's more natural if I don't know. So it was just like it was new for sure.
Yeah.
So
And that's going to be an awesome experience where you can network with somebody who's even further
yeah.
advanced in other things that can kind of that you'll be able to uh
Now I just have to
learn too.
fulfill.
Yeah. Hey, if
So
you need, you've got me, but you also
okay.
are very good at what you do. I'm here as like a fail safe, but you're very good at what you do. And
Yeah.
if you can map out your illustration and then execute, you'll
Oh
be
my
fine.
gosh, that's the worst part. I can't.
That's my favorite part. That's what we're spending like 6 hours with this guy. But
Oh my
so
gosh.
for everybody else, how do we attract dream clients? So I'm gonna go through obviously a very biased presentation. This is what I do to really maximize my the amount of dream clients I get to work with, right? So the first thing we want to do, we're gonna go through this list. We're gonna cover. the following. We're going to cover first who, we're going to then cover why, and then we're going to cover how, and we're going to end with how often. And you know what we can even do? We can go into no, I was gonna say we're gonna go into case studies a little bit, but that'll go into kind of the how and the how often. So this is kind of like the structure right here of how we're going to attract dream clients. Now, there's two main scenarios that you're going to see when it comes to who we're speaking to in this case. So what we're going to cover first is with the who. So the who can be differentiated one of two ways. Number one, you can look at this for your business, or you can do this with your clientele. Okay. And I'll tell a cleaning story that I think Patricia will enjoy, but I'll tell a cleaning story about a client who they're doing 1 million this year, and he does residential cleaning, and they're doing 1 million this year. And they went from 2 years ago they were doing 4,000 monthly recurring revenue. Now they're at 50,000, and they're projected at 90,000 by the end of the year. So I'll cover kind of like what exactly what he did, and he says the exact same thing that I'm going to cover here. So the first thing we look at with the who is we want to ask ourselves the question, or if you're consulting somebody else, you want to ask this question: are you an active business or are you a new business? So the first piece we want to look at here is active versus new. So if you are new, this is not that difficult. You want to, now, if you're new, you're going to do the following. You're going to overthink. You're going to overthink because if you are new, there's endless possibilities. There's endless possibilities. I'll tell you right now, if you're wondering how do I become a successful entrepreneur, the way that I would define somebody as a successful entrepreneur is somebody who, number one, understands how to identify problems within a space. Number two, understands how to monetize those problems. So you found a problem, you monetize the solution. Okay. If you're finding problems and you're not solving it, what are we doing? If you're trying to, this is the big one that people do, right? They go, okay, well, there's problems versus monetization. If you, I might ruffle some feathers. I really don't care because I'm trying to get you guys to go somewhere with this. If you are like, hey, I can monetize this, but I don't know what to monetize, you are not in a space. You have not committed to a space. You have not. You have not. The best entrepreneurs that I ever work with are people who are in a space. They start a business. They have no idea what they're doing. And they go, I have a problem. How do I fix it? I have a problem. How do I fix it? I have a problem. How do I fix it? The cleaning guy I met with on Tuesday, he's like, I had no background. I wanted to know how to do this. I hopped on YouTube, I learned, and I built it out. And he has a full GHL connected with, I think it's like Zen Jobs. I don't. It's not Zen Made. It's something. I don't know. I don't know if Patricia knows what I'm talking about, but it's something like Zen Job or Zen something, Zen Clean. I
That
don't know.
Zendesk?
No, it's something cleaning, but it's like a very the APIs are terrible. And so that was one of the things. He was like, I have to use APIs. I don't know how. He just YouTubed it. He has this huge data warehouse. He has something that would like it's near one of the things that I would build, right? So what's impressive is that he's not in my space. He is stuck in the cleaning space. He loves it, and he learned all this stuff very similar to what I do on his own. So he didn't say I can monetize this. He said I have a problem first. Second, I can monetize it. So if you are new to this game, or if you've been doing it for a while and you have no business and you have very few clients, you are overthinking what market to solve problems in. This is why in the training what I cover is find high trust clientele. How do you find high trust clientele? The answer is for to find problems, you look at proximity. Proximity is how close am I to this person? Who is within my reach? And there's two ways you can do this: physical, digital. Have any of you met me in person? No, I've met one Say So member in person. It's Jake. I've met Jake in person, who works with painting, Grind Kick. So with most of you guys and me, it's digital. How many of you have met a client in person? Patricia, like, you met a client in person. Stephanie, you met Omar, right? That's physical. So you can meet people in person. Now, check this out. You guys see Alec on YouTube. Why do you trust me? Because we're in the same digital space. You see me in high level. We're in the same digital space. Scenario number two. Um, Patricia goes to, I don't know, she goes to I can't remember the sport. You said your kids play. Is it softball?
Yes, softball.
So Patricia goes to a softball event. She bumps into somebody who is also a cleaning business owner and needs her help. There's now a physical proximity. And what's interesting is the moment that you have some kind of a proximal relationship, trust is built. It doesn't matter. Oh, we go to the same Publix. Our kids go to the same school. That's why I say just find an excuse. And people go like, "Oh, it's not that simple." Yes, it is. You are just overthinking. You're just overthinking. Anybody ever seen like a busted, ugly dude and he's dating like some really beautiful woman? You know why? Because he's not overthinking. He just goes. He's not like, oh, I'm not. He just goes. He's okay embarrassing himself. Stop overthinking. So once you identify what market to solve problems in, you don't have to say what problems do you have in your space. If you are in the space, the problems will reveal themselves very quickly. The guy I'm doing the build with, the that they're doing 6.5 mil a year. I said, before we hop on the call, I want you to do your best to map out the process. We get on the call. He goes, dude, I have so many ideas already. I'm like, oh, how do you have the ideas? Because when I mapped it out, I saw it all. So he said, I can see the problems now that I mapped it out. I go, well, how'd you know how to map it out? Because I do this every day. Duh. He can see the problems in his own space. So then he can solve them, which leads to monetization. If you are thinking, I'm really technical, I'm really, really good at what I do, but I have no clients, it's because you're too focused on monetization. You're way too focused on monetization. If you show me a successful entrepreneur, if you go find your favorite entrepreneurial stories, what do? We found a problem. Think about how every TED Talk, every pitch goes, every Shark Tank. Sharks. There's a guy who had a hoodie that turns into a backpack. Sharks. We had this really stupid problem and we found a way to solve it. And now we're monetizing our solution. That's all it is every time, but they're in the space enough to be able to come up with intelligent monetizations. If you're selling something and nobody's buying, you are not in that space. And anyone who's like, well, I don't want to niche down, uh, I'm saying this with love. Cancel your account, cancel your say so. Go find a new coach because if you're not in a space, you can't find the problems. If you're just thinking I can sell to anybody and everybody, I can't help you. And I don't know a single. I'll say this and then we'll move on. If you see companies that struggle to service one community, how cocky do you think you are to service 15 communities and think you're going to do better than these guys who are making millions a year? It doesn't make sense. You can widen your net a little bit, yes, but if you're not close enough to the problem, if you're not close enough to the market, you don't know the problems. If you don't know the problems, you don't know the solutions. If you don't know the solutions, you don't know the monetization. I had a client who came to me. He goes, "What space should I be in?" He had a client in a very high ticket space, roofing. And he goes, "I don't know if I should." I said, "Double down on it." I said, "Give it 6 weeks," because he was like so stubborn. I can do this. I said, "Give it 6 weeks only roofing." 4 weeks in, he comes back to me. He goes, did you know there's a software that when ABC, I'm not going to give away his secret, but he said when ABC happens, everybody needs a new roof. Or most likely that's where we see a high correlation between this happening and people needing new roofs at this time of the year. We have a software that will geo track all of that, put it into my high level, and then I can reach out to them without lifting a finger. I'm like, oh, how'd you find that out? Because I spend all day with roofers. And I go, and guess what? All he does now is roofing. I had somebody do the same thing with me. All they do is outdoor living. Same thing. Somebody comes to me landscaping. All they do is landscaping. Stephanie has a beautiful build. All she does is nails, right? Salons of some kind. You're not going to see that unless you're close to the market. So if you're new and you're still not doing that, let this be my make or break for you guys. Anybody who wants to argue that, have a go on. Now, how do you pick your market? Who is close to you? Pick. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Let's say you are active. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little crash course. We talked about this um, the other day a little bit. You're going to do an 80-20 evaluation. Who paid me the most amount of money that I love? Filter it top down. What is common? That is who you want to target. That is it. What if you're new and you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm close to this space. What should you get close to? Should you get close to all the people who are starting out and have no money? No. What problems do you want to solve? Solve expensive problems. So if you go to people who are paying you a lot of money, they probably have expensive problems. If you go and pick this space, let's say this is your market, either way, because this is going to lead to identifying your market, and so will this. Look at where your market has a money problem, has a money problem. What's the biggest one that everybody thinks when I say money problem? Leads, sales. That's the biggest one. Client came to me, they're willing to spend a lot of money for hiring. They want the hiring pipeline to be smooth. So it's not always how can I make you more money? Sometimes more money gives them more bandwidth to solve more problems, right? So the first thing you want to identify is who is your dream client? That's it. Who is your dream client? And you should, if you read the book, Win Without Pitching by Ends. If you read this book, they say your best client is basically your heck freaking yes client, dream client. Somebody, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Who's your dream client? They've got money, plus they trust you. The second best thing that you can have, I don't necessarily agree with the book in this case, but I'll explain why. The second thing, best thing you can have, so we say yes from heck yes clients. The second best thing you can have, no, I would agree. Yeah, now that I'm writing out, no from heck freaking no clients. Somebody describes to me the one characteristic, worst characteristic about a bad client. Just one. Nobody's had a bad client.
Second guess everything you do.
Second guess everything. It's like, what are you even paying me for? So they second guess. What does that mean? No trust. One of my biggest pet peeves is like bad communication. That kills me. We've got a guy who's paid us like about 300 a month for 3 months, and his account is still not done because we're like, dude, we have to hop on a 5 minute call to connect your Square account. 3 months, thousand bucks down the drain. And I'm over here like don't get me wrong, we're not doing it for free, but I don't want your money. I want you to be a case study so I can get more clients who give me more money. Right? I'm like, I can't do anything with a dud client. I don't care how much you're paying me. It's a dud client. It doesn't help me get to another client. Right? And then the third thing you want is basically your maybes. Now with maybes, what I would say is then, so you've got this book right here. That with the maybes, what I would then read is Ultimate Sales Machine by the Holmes father-daughter duo. That's your next book to read for your maybes. But you want to target all of your heck freaking yeses. Now, if you identify that they're a heck no client, you want a no, or you want to tell them no. And then your maybes, you're going to follow up incessantly because you know it's a dream client. When I saw my wife, I was like, that's the one I'm going to marry. She was way out of my league and she like rejected me the first time. You think I was going to take no for an answer? I was like, no, I got it. Like, how do I secure the phone number? How do I secure a date? And then she rejected me from the date. And I was like, well, what if we do a video call? I was like, I'm not letting this gorgeous woman walk away from me. And how to do it in a way where obviously you're not trying to, scare people or creep them out, right? So I have to do it in a way where it's still done in a positive manner. So that's basically the premise behind this one. They tell you no one time, right? They're like, I'm not interested, right? You've got to show them the value. And then maybe you identify they're a heck no client, but if you identify they're a heck yes client, why are you walking away? So that's a great book on that. So you want to identify who. So to wrap up the who, your who should basically be, I'm going to erase this. Does anybody need a second? We're good? Okay. So let's erase this. The who, if we're going to boil down the who should be dream clients who spend money and trust you. So again, dream client is going to be money plus trust you, right? Anybody like baffled by this so far? Like this is completely mind-boggling? No, right? But what's interesting is if I look at your client lists, how many of you working with clients that you can't stand, or clients that don't pay you, or clients that drag their feet, right? You've got to get rid of that dead weight. It's a two-way relationship. If you are in a bad, unhealthy relationship, why would you stay in there? It's not just, oh, they pay me, I stay. No, you're not an employee. You are working together. I have fired so many clients. We had a client who spent like $6,000. They wanted to record a VSL. So we had the script and everything ready. They got it a week out. Please let me know your notes. That's what I tell them. Please let me know your notes. 30 minutes before recording, they send me all their notes they want me to change on a Saturday. No. So now they go to record it. Cameraman calls me. He's like, dude, these guys are mad at you because they don't like the script. I'm like, oh, the script that they looked over 15 minutes on the way to the video recording, the script that they didn't pay attention to? No. So we wrapped up the VSL. It was horrible because they didn't do any of it right. They didn't prepare at all. They didn't follow anything I told them to. No communication, no nothing. And I said, hey, we're done. I said, that was a nightmare for me. That was a nightmare for my camera team. And I was like, and on top of it, to hear that you're bad mouthing me when you guys didn't do your part, I was like, I don't need the money. And they were all embarrassed because they didn't realize I'd known that. And I was nice about it, but I was like, no. So you can fire people whenever you want. This is a two-way street. If they can fire you whenever they want, you can let them go whenever you want, as long as you are upholding with that, whatever you have within the contract. That's why I say make sure the contracts protect you and them. Okay. So don't be a con man. Okay. Why? When you are dealing with your dream clients, you have to ask yourself this question. Why? Now, listen, I need you guys to be really critical of yourselves here. Usually I'm very big on like positive self-talk. For the why, you need to be a little harsh with yourself. And when I say a little harsh, I mean a lot of harsh. Why is why would they want me? Why? Now, again, this is not beat yourself down. I suck. I should just quit. No, it's why. Now, remember, if we read 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, what he talks about, or Thiel, I don't know how you say his name, but what he talks about is if you, there's always a secret. Everything is a secret. So he says everything is a secret. So if there's a secret to get somebody to say, I want you, the next question would be, how? How do I get them to want me? Right? So why would they want me? How do I get them to want me? So think about this. Let's go into the whys and the how. This is kind of like a twofer, right? We could technically put why and how, but it's kind of a twofer. So why and how. And we're going to do the exercise if you were on the call the other day where we talked about the negatives. So let's talk about why somebody we're going to say why not you. Why wouldn't they work with you? So somebody tell me why again, let's imagine you guys have to spend money. Be critical because you're asking people to give you thousands of dollars. Why? And they don't want to. Nobody wants to pay you money. They want to get better results. They want to have it. They want it to be win-win. Nobody wants it zero sum, but they want their sum to be bigger than yours. They want to win more than you. Okay. The way that you both win is that they win by getting a better deal. You win by having a lot of people who don't take up too much of your time and pay you without looking. Right. So let's start with why not you. So what would you see in somebody that would say, I don't want to work with that person? And we're talking about SMEs here, subject matter expert.
I would say no case studies.
Yeah, so we could say no proof.
Yeah, social proof.
We'll say proof of concept because then I'm going to add in no social proof. And what I would how I would differentiate them is proof of concept is you can do what you said you can do. Social proof would be like, are you even a human being? Anybody get
Mm.
a DM from somebody and it's like a logo as the profile picture and they're like, "Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. I can do this, 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 and
Mm.
this." And I'm really, or you see an account, you're like, "I know that account's fake." How do you know the account's fake? There's no activity. It's a brand new
Yeah.
account. There's no
Mm.
posts. So no social proof. We can add in here no social posts. No friends. That's social proof. There's no content. That's you showing that you are who you say you are. There's no post. There's no not even post just pretending that you're engaging. What else can we put in here?
I would say, like from my perspective, if someone is not giving me the actual value of something, like I don't trust the value. I don't trust that what they're telling me is actually, true.
I would say no value and I would say no transparency to tag on to
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I do is people want to know where it's a win-win. If I
Mm.
say, "Hey, I'm going to give you $100,000," what's your first question?
Yeah,
Why?
it's like, yeah, go on.
Sorry. No, I was
No,
just gonna say why.
I want you guys to be
Yeah.
cynical. I need this out of you guys right now. You don't want to give Alec money. I'm going to give you $100,000. What's your first question?
Yeah, like why?
Why?
I need someone more cynical.
Yeah.
Like, what's the catch?
Yeah.
Like,
Too good to
nah,
be
I don't
true.
believe
Oh,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
What's the catch? You got to
What do I
share
have to
you got to
do?
share the catch. You've got to share the catch. There's no transparency. So there's no proof, no social proof posts, no value, no transparency, and there's a fourth one I would say.
Uh, no trust. I don't know.
Okay,
Um,
I'd probably put that with no transparency.
okay.
I'd probably honestly I'd put that with all of these. That's probably a good like umbrella one. Like there's no trust because of no proof of concept, no social proof, no value, no transparency. So I'd probably put that as like the top umbrella.
No confidence because you don't know about this person.
I would probably put that in social proof because I can kind of see how you're engaging. Like if you're talking like maybe,
Mm,
I would say
Hmm.
no focus.
mm.
Mm.
Like what exactly do you do? I can do anything. If I say, has anybody been to like a really good steakhouse before? Like phenomenal
Mm.
steakhouse. Do you mind sharing where you went?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. And what was the
Yeah.
restaurant you went to? What was it? Was it specifically a steakhouse?
It was specifically a steakhouse. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say Texas Roadhouse now.
But hey, even Texas Roadhouse, their thing is like steaks though, isn't it?
She said Barcelona.
I went to like a five-star in France once when I was like really young with my grandpa. I remember the steak filet mignon was cut in like butter. To this day, I think I have like mouth-watering dreams about that steak.
Yeah.
But it's a focus. Would you go here? I'll ask you a different question. Would you guys go to a gas station for sushi?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's like the punchline to a few bad jokes, right? There's no focus. What do you do? Why do this? It's not focused. What's more powerful, buckshot or like, a sniper shot, right? There's no focus. So the more vague you are, the cheaper you have to charge. Now, the benefit of going more vague and going cheaper is then you have to go for frequency. The downside of frequency is more management, more middle management, much, much lower margins. So if we have not you, what is the inverse of all these things? What's the opposite of proof of concept or no proof of concept? I gave it away.
Proof of concept.
Case studies, right?
Get proof.
Yeah.
Proof.
That's why one of the first things I tell you guys, validate your product with somebody in your space. Well, how do I get somebody in my space? That's the who, high trust people in your network in the industry. Get proof. Work with them for a heavily discounted rate, right? The next piece, be social. Now, when you're social, this is a big thing that a lot of people are missing. When you are social, who should you be talking to?
Everyone.
People.
Talk to your dream.
Audience.
Oh, I can't even spell. Talk to your dream clients. If you know you don't want to be with like an abusive partner, don't talk to people who you think are abusive partners. If you're going to be with Prince Charming, you got to go talk to Prince Charming. And where does Prince Charming hang out? Maybe at the palace. I don't know. Maybe they got like a Prince Charming bar that they all go to. Who knows? But you got to talk to your dream clients. And you can only talk to your dream clients. Why? We already understood that if we want to work with dream clients, you got to talk to dream clients and you got to reject everybody who's not a dream client. Why are you talking to anybody who's not a dream client? You're like, oh, I need cash. If you're thinking, I need cash, check this out. Let's say you're desperate to get married. Desperate. You want to be with somebody so badly. Man, woman, doesn't matter. Okay. Because men who like to pretend they don't want to, I've seen it happen on both sides. Doesn't matter. You want to be married so badly. So you date the first person who's willing to date you. And it doesn't go so well. And the whole time you're wondering, why doesn't it go so well? Well, you're with the wrong person. And the right person who might have walked past you 15 times, you didn't see because you're too busy dealing with the wrong person. If you don't have the bandwidth to accept the right person, it's never going to get better. And then have people come to me and they go, Alec, this agency thing sucks. It's like, yeah, because you're working with people you hate working with. And what's funny is go look at Mark Zuckerberg and they talk about how Mark Zuckerberg actually had a growth team. And what's funny is they talked in the beginning with his growth team, he was firing all of his like top people. And they were like, well, how do we get him to keep it? And they're like, well, why are you firing people? He said, I just don't like them. And they go, okay, well, let's hire somebody he likes and then we'll train them on the skills. Boom. And that was early days of Facebook. So even like Zuckerberg, even look at the big names, they were so big on working with people they enjoyed working with. It wasn't just a clientele thing. It was a team thing. You're spending your whole day working with these people, waiting on them hand and foot. Why are you doing that with people you can't stand? If you know, think about this, if you know that when you get married, I'm just using marriage as an example. If you know when you get married, there's going to be highs and lows. Wouldn't you want the highs to be really high highs and the lows to not be too low? Wouldn't you want to have more good? And when the bad is bad, it's not as bad as it could be. So when I say that in a dating or romantic analogy, that makes perfect sense. If you had a boss, wouldn't you want your boss to be ecstatic when you do well and when you do badly, they're gentle with you? Yeah, duh, that makes sense. But how come when I talk about clients, everyone goes, oh, no, I'll deal with it? Doesn't make any sense. Dream clients only. So you have to be social and you need to talk to your dream clients only. You need to be where your dream clients are. It wouldn't make sense to go to a dentist convention if I want to work with plumbers. It wouldn't make sense to go to a plumbing or plumbers convention if I want to work with dog groomers. It doesn't make sense. And when I put it like that, we all get it. But then what happens is when the actual push comes to shove, we go, oh, it's money coming in. Now we're talking about no value, no transparency. Just be a human. I'm going to expose Adelina a little bit. She's got a big call coming up. And she was like, well, do I need to be like super professional, super prepared? I'm like, no, just be human. Because when you talk to people, again, like if you have kids, like, Patricia, you go to sporting events. If you go to any sporting events with your kids, you bump into people, or if you have kids at all, like school is so funny because you'll have like, some low income kid next to like some super rich kid, and then their buddies, just because they're kids in the same class, and then you're going over to their house and you're like, holy cow, this kid lives in a mansion. But the kids have no idea. They don't care. They're just kids. And now all of a sudden you have a connection with some super wealthy lady, or the super wealthy lady has a connection with somebody who is maybe a mechanic, maybe not super well off in society, but now they have a great connection with a mechanic. I see it all the time because they're just human. You're not like, let me put on a suit and go just be a human being. You will find connections everywhere you go. Just be human, be honest. And this is one of my favorite tricks with the sales piece. Because people have like, oh, sales tricks are gimmicky. I couldn't care less. Share the catch. If you give them a catch, it doesn't even have to be that big of a catch. If you just give them a catch, they feel like they're in on the game. Here's the catch. The catch is I'm brand new at this. I'm really good at it because I built it out for a few people. This will be my first one-on-one deal. So the catch is that because it's my first one-on-one deal, I'm willing to waive the setup fee, or I'm willing to do a very low setup fee so long as I get feedback from you, because I really need feedback to make this perfect. So because I need feedback to make it perfect, I'm going to wait on you hand and foot. You're going to get a better deal, and you're going to be my only client, so you're going to have all my focus. The catch, which might make them nervous, is now playing into their hand like, that's the catch. Yeah, let's do it. She's fully committed. He's fully committed. He or she's going to be more cost efficient, and I'm going to be their only client. I'm going to get all their focus because if they do a really good job, that'll lead into a case study. So the catch is, I'm new, but I can do it all. Here's like, proof of concept, which is just explaining the process, which any one of you can do if you're in this group. Here's the financial gain for you. The catch from you is I need feedback every week, and I would love a case study at the end of it if it goes well. That's the catch. And if you're like, oh, that, I don't know how you guys perceive that. For me, it's a no-brainer because I did it for my first client. I said, here's the catch. I haven't done this before. Now, the big guys who have done it before, they're going to charge the package. I kid you not. This is what I told them verbatim. The big guys are going to they're going to charge you about 20,000 for this. And honestly, the work I should have done or I did, it was it was a lot of work. I said, but I am only going to do it for 5,000 because I'm brand new. But because I'm brand new, every week I need feedback. And at the end, I need a case study. And guess what? He was more than happy to do. Wired me right away. We met every week, gave me a case study video at the end. So just share the catch. Final piece, no focus. Focus. Just focus. My brother is a car detailer, charges a lot of money for a detail. Do you know why? Guess who he focuses on?
High paying clients, like,
High paying clients. And what kind of cars do high paying clients have?
yeah,
Very
great
nice
cars,
cars.
good cars.
And what do you do if you have a great car?
Expensive, yeah. You take care of it. It's your
And
baby.
and what's the best way to take care of it? You doing it or a professional doing it?
Yeah,
Professional.
professional.
And how much do you think a professional would charge? A little bit equal with the market or above market rate?
Yeah, definitely above.
So who do you think we speak to? We speak to
Your
great
brother.
clients. He goes to car shows. Do you think he goes to like the Honda souped up? I mean, those are nice cars, but you think he goes there? No, he goes to the exotic car shows, the old timey car shows. He's human and honest. He just tells his story, how long he's been in the game. He just tells a story. He has proof. So every time he details, he takes a picture, and he only focuses on high end cars. So much so that high end car owners have boats, and he got paid a lot of money to go do a boat. That's it.
Mm.
He's not all over the place. He's not focusing on low income. He's not hiding who he is. He's being social. He's getting out in the community, so he's connecting only with people in that space. So every time he posts or does anything, it's all about cars. Everything he does is about cars. Now, who would you rather detail your car? The guy whose every single post is about detailing luxury cars, or the guy who goes, "Oh, I do pressure washing. Oh, and I do boats, and I do cars, and I also can watch your kid on the weekends, and I can also fix your." Are you gonna? It's a no-brainer. Now, the cheap person's gonna go to the everything guy because they know they're cheap, right? He doesn't want the cheap. He only talks to his dream clients. So you have to be very strict on yourself. If you're like, I don't have proof of concept, what do you need to do? Go proof of concept. How do you do that? Find somebody in your network who trusts you, that high proximity thing we were talking about, right? So this becomes goal number one, but you can get paying clients off that. Somebody came to me like, oh, should I do it for free? I said, start with a rate. If they walk away, then say, hey, if it's only finances, we can talk about free. Because then at least you get your proof of concept. At the best, you get paid. Guess what he shoots me a message on? They're paying me. His first client ever. They're paying me $300 a month. This is crazy. And he was willing to do it for free for 6 months.
Alec, just a question there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes some clients, you look at their website, you can kind of tell like that they are, they get a lot of money. So you can kind of charge high ticket. Is that where you kind of adjust, if you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah. So what I look at for the ticket is what I do for pricing is I say start at. I never like to say flat rate unless
Mm,
it is a flat rate, right?
mm.
So what I would do is I would say we start at this much money, and then depending on how much goes into it, we can have custom quotes.
Ah,
So
okay,
for
that's good.
example, like if this guy wasn't in SASO with the custom build for his outdoor living space, that would be an easily $10,000 client because he has quite a few pipelines, right? Easily, it'd probably be closer to 20,000, honestly.
Mm,
But if you only have a few pipelines, then that's a little bit different. So
Right.
again, that's the benefit of niching down, because if you niche down, then the pipelines become repeatable, become streamlined, and then you can find your pricing within the market.
Mm.
So if
Okay.
you're all over the place, which is going to be kind of normal in the beginning, but if you're all over the place in the beginning, the problem is that it's going to be really hard for you to nail down pricing because you don't really know the scope.
Mm.
So there's going to be a lot of projects where you're like, okay, I way undercharged for this. But again, what is your goal starting out? Your goal starting out is get proof, be social, be human, focus. Because if you have proof, you're social, talking to more people, you can now you can say, even though you might have worked like a dog, a penny per hour,
Mm.
right? You broke even, didn't even take home money. Now the next conversation you have when you are talking to your dream clients, what can you do? Oh, we built something out like that for so and so,
Mm. Yeah.
right? Now, when you are human and honest, you can share the proof. So being honest, even if you have nothing, is going to lead to you closing your first deal, and it's going to lead to you, once you have that first deal, it's the hardest one to get. Now you have proof. If you look at Grant's timeline of closing clients, nailed his product in September. October, no clients. November, client. December, client. January, 2 clients. February, he's got like 5 calls this week alone.
Mm. Wow.
So once you know that product, it takes time because you have to have those conversations where you're talking with people, where you're showing your stuff, where you're having to find somebody who's willing to give you proof when you have no proof.
Mm.
But again, if you nail that proof down, this is the other thing I see. If you nail that proof down and you have no audience, you have no one to talk to, you're not talking to your group, who's going to see that? Who's going to see that win? No one. So you're restarting.
Mm.
I have one in HVAC. I have one here. I have one there. It's like, okay, what does that have to do with the clients you want? Nothing, right?
Mm.
It doesn't compound at all.
Yeah.
You want it to compound. If it's not compounding, what are you doing? So that's why I say focus. And people go, I don't want to focus. I promise you, if you had people paying you, if you go talk to Grant right now, ask him how happy he is. Landscapers reaching out to him every single. He had a landscaper. He sent me a post yesterday. He had a landscaper reach out to him and just left him a testimonial. He didn't even ask for it.
Wow.
And he was like, dude, this is, and we thought this client was going nowhere because he only uses one feature. And we're like, oh my gosh, like I was so worried. He goes, hey, this guy reached out, and I'm like, oh no, he's quitting. It's the opposite. I love it. It does it all for me. I don't lift a finger. And we're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, yeah, this is what we needed. Because that's his first major testimonial. Again, his company's like 4 or 5 months old. But most people go, oh, I don't have a testimonial in 5 days, and they quit. But now he's focused. So that testimonial, what do you think that does to his audience full of landscapers and lawn care guys? Immediately, 2 people reached out. I want in. I want in. I want in. How much is it? They didn't even say how much was it. They're like, I want in. And then he goes, oh, by the way, how much is it? Cool. Let's hop on a call Saturday. Didn't even care about the money. Why? Because he had the proof. And his group is
Is
full of
that
people
through the Facebook group?
just through his Facebook group.
Yeah. Okay.
So during those 3 months where he had the product and no clients, he only had one client. He was pushing, 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 pushing his content. He got the group to over 300 people.
Mm.
So now he gets proof, and now there's 300 people who see his proof. Right away, he had 2 people want to book calls with him Saturday.
Can you do it without a Facebook group? Can you do it just
You
like,
you need an audience of some kind. And if you try to skip the audience part, it's going to be hell to grow it. You have to have an audience of some kind. So it can be so he does landscapers. Where
I'm
do
not
landscapers
listening.
operate? Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So think, where do
Don't have
landscapers
a group.
operate?
I mean, I don't really have a group.
So you don't need a group necessarily. Here's the benefit of a group over a page or a profile. A group has this like psychological impact on them to where they feel like they can communicate privately versus posting or having to reach out to you. So if someone else posts, that's the hardest thing. If you can get them to engage, then other people are going to start commenting. If other people are starting to what do you call comment and engaging, now what's going to happen is other people are going to engage, and then they're going to ask questions that other people also have. And so once everyone's talking and you are the go-to, it positions you really well. So that's why I think the group is the best. You can do a group on Facebook, you can do a group on LinkedIn, you can do a school, you can do a Discord, but the question is, where does your group operate? So if you're talking to your dream clients, do you think it would make sense to push landscapers to Discord? No, that'd be stupid. Do you think it would make sense to push cleaners to LinkedIn? No, that would be stupid. Do you think it makes sense to push lawyers to Facebook? Maybe. I'd have to see where they operate, but LinkedIn probably do better. Right? And what communities already exist? That's why I talk about OPA, other people's audiences, right?
Yeah, I don't have a Facebook group. I just,
So check
not
this
one
out.
that belongs to me.
So check this out. Timeline. Top one is Grant. Bottom one is Patricia, just so I can pick on her.
Okay.
So Grant starts his business. He starts his group here. And let's say Patricia is like, engaging other people's audiences. So Grant has his group, then he goes to OPA. Over here, he gets client one, then client two, and we'll do little X's for that. Then he gets a testimonial, and now he's got all these clients coming to him. He's like, holy cow, we got somebody, like, we had to change this and that. I'm like, perfect. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, it's working, right? What's going to happen for you, Patricia, is, oh, and also his rates are going to go up somewhere over here in June.
Okay.
So what's going to happen for you or anybody who's not having a community, it doesn't have to be a group. You just have to have a community of some kind where they can engage and speak to each other, where even if it's a profile or a page where they're able to do it. Again, we're just using group because that's the easiest one for us. If you're pushing other people's audience, where are they going to go? So by the time you start saying, hey, I'm going to build my audience, whatever facet looks like, email list, SMS list, profile, whatever, now you're over here for Grant. So this is still going to have to happen timeline wise. All you're doing by waiting to build your audience is prolonging that 3-4 month period.
Hmm.
So every week you wait, you're just pushing off the 3-4 months doesn't go down because you waited 3 or 4 months. This
Yeah,
starts the moment
just
you start
tap
building your
on.
audience. Now, why do I love social media? How much does it cost to send one email? Somebody just give me a number. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate.
6 cents. I don't know. It's not that much, but I'm just
Let's say 1 cent. Let's go even cheaper. What about a text message? How much to send a text message?
2 cents.
Let's say 2
Depends on your
cents.
segment, how big your segments are,
Let's say 2
how many
cents.
segments you have, I guess.
Okay. Now that's one message. Let's say we're doing 3 follow-ups, which is you're supposed to be doing closer to like 10. So let's do 10. 1 times 10 is what? 10 cent. 2 times 10 is what? 20 cent. Everybody with me so far?
Mhm.
How many contacts would you love to have in your newsletter or text list?
Unlimited.
Let's say Grant's number, and let's say just 300 because he has more than that. But let's just say 300. So what's 300 times 10 cents? Was that 3,000? And then this is going to be 6,000, right? Of course, we're talking like pennies, right? But you can make this 30,000, right? 60,000. We move the comma over. Watch this. How much does a social media post cost?
Nothing.
What about a
Free.
story?
Free.
What about a live stream?
Free.
What about a DM
That's free.
conversation? So what if I have, how much does that cost if I have 300 people?
Free.
What if I have 10 million people?
Free. Free
And what
nugget.
do people have very little money of? Or what do people have very little of? Money.
Money.
That's it, right? It's
Right,
just
money.
money. So anytime
Yeah,
someone tells me,
I don't have a Facebook group, and I also don't have a business name. Not really. I don't have I'm just doing it as a stream of revenue right now, but I think I need to switch that.
yeah, I would probably
Yeah.
get an entity set up pretty quick.
Yeah.
What would you call the business, the group? Like, would you be like very specific, like marketing systems for salon owners, or would you
Yes.
go like oh,
I would do a
like
name. I would do a corny name, and then I would have colon what we're doing because the worst thing you can do is pretend like you're not selling. You are selling. The difference is that you're trading value for
and what do you say to your prospects to get them to join this group?
I say this is a group about how to ABC, A to Z transformation. Because I want to be very clear, like you're coming in this group, I don't want you to be surprised when I tell you I'm selling. I'm not also not going to spam you. And if you're a marketer trying to come in my group, you're not coming to my group. That's what you want. So if I say, um, let's see, nail grow. I don't know. That's a terrible name. Who cares? Um,
Call it nailed it.
yeah. Automate and scale
When my
your.
youngest was like 8 or 10, she wanted to do people's nails, so she called it nailed it, and we
There you,
ordered her a logo.
there you go.
I don't know why we did that, but
But check this out. Automate and scale your nail salon. If I tell you, hey, we can help automate and scale your nail salon, are you going to be shocked? No, because it's in the name. If you are you going to join if you are a landscaper? No, because it's in the name.
Mm, yeah.
So this is what I do every time. If you go look at Grant's group, it's lawn legacy, master your landscaping growth systems, something like that. It's very evident what we do. We don't want people to come in and be like, oh, I'm not buying from these scammers. We want them to come in saying, hey, I'm buying from, I need to learn how to do this. And if I get enough free value and information, I will buy into it. Why? Because we're speaking to our dream clients. Our dream clients want to purchase things. If we just made it, landscapers are us, and they're like, whoa, why are you selling? We're landscapers. It's not going to attract the right clientele. We want to be very evident who we're speaking to. How often? I'll say this and then we'll wrap up. How often? Every 3 weeks. I would
Every
probably,
week to do what?
how often to reach out to them? I would probably say every 2 weeks. And I'm going to give you the exact order that I go with Grant, and this is what we do every time. Number one. Oh my goodness. YouTube video. If you don't want to be in front of the camera, get in front of the camera. That's the best thing I can tell you. Go watch my first couple of videos and come back and we'll laugh at it together. I told Grant the other day, I left him up there. I was telling Grant, I was telling um oh gosh, what's his name? I talk to him all the time. I can't remember his name. I think he just sent me a DM actually, I can tell you. Where is he? Jesse. All the time I talk with Jesse, and he was like nervous about making videos. I said, go look at my first video. Go look at my first couple of lives. Maybe you hate these lives. Who cares? I just get on here. I'm just unapologetic. So YouTube video. If you're embarrassed, make it. Feel the embarrassment later. Post it and then hide in a hole. YouTube video is number one. Number two, you're gonna post to your audience new training. New video on ABC. Who wants a copy? Listen to me right now. No tag. Anybody get a friend request and then 2 minutes later it's like they tag you and others in a comment and you're like, oh my gosh. Everybody who tags me in a comment, I just unfriend them right away. Unless you're in SASO, but everyone else, I'm like, out of here. No tag. Why? Because if they want it, what's going to happen? They're going to engage. Stay with me now. Number three. This is day one, YouTube video, day two post. Day three, nothing. In your group, other people's audiences push your video. Because now they're joining the group and they're seeing who wants the training. Now, whoever wants the training, by the way, you're DMing them. So you're just going to say, you're going to DM them. And they're going to say, I want a copy. Okay, I'll DM you. And then you just DM them the copy. There's going to be engagement on the training. Number two, nothing. I'm going to go post my video in other people's groups. In the video, what am I doing in the video? Push the group. So now when I push my video, I don't have to go to someone else's group and say, hey, leave this group, join mine. I can say, oh, here's a training on A, B, and C. And the video says, oh, join my group if you want a copy and also in the description. So now I'm getting more people in the group, right? They're coming to the group. They can get a copy of the training. That's day four. Nothing in your group, other people's video. Day four. What are we going to do? We're going to tag everyone. Why? Because by now the post has some engagement. So anybody who was going to ask for it anyway has gotten it. Now everybody's tagged and they're going to see the engagement. So then they might be more likely to ask for it. Social proof. Those shoes are ugly. Susan has them. I want those shoes. Man, I'm not going to that. Oh, Bill's going. Oh, I'll go. It's just social proof. There's a whole plugin that all it does is just repeats the orders. Just says someone just bought this in Austin. Someone just bought this in Houston. Someone just bought this in New York. You know why? Because social proof. We just buy what people want. Oh, I want that. They got a copy of it. They are seeing their competition get it. FOMO, whatever you want to call it. Tag everyone. Day 5, post YouTube video in your group. No tag. Day 6 to day 13, because we're doing every 2 weeks. Guess what we're doing? DM everyone who didn't ask. Every 2 weeks, I've spoken to everybody in my group. And guess what I'm doing when I DM them? Do you want a copy? Here's the link if they say yes. By the way, how's the business going? If you've spoken to them before, scroll up. Oh, last time we spoke, you said you're trying to do ABC by this date. How's that going? That's all we do every time. And that the rest of that is in the sales machine or the sales machine video I have. Basically, hey, here's the training. Do you want a copy? I do. Great. Here's a link. By the way, how's your business going? Oh, it's going like this. Then they ghost you. Okay, guess when I'm going to see you? I'll see you in 2 weeks. Because I have an excuse to hop in the DMs. Am I saying, oh, I'm following up? No. I'm saying, hey, I got a new training. Did you want a copy? I've got more free stuff for you, more free stuff for you, more free stuff for you. Which we just covered that YouTube is free. We just covered Google Drive, Google Doc is free. Doesn't cost you anything but time. So then I go, oh, here it is. Oh, by the way, last time we spoke, you said you were trying to do this by that date. How's that going? Not well. Oh, what are you trying? I'm trying this. Oh, okay. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to do this. Oh, here's what I'd recommend. If you want, we can hop on a call and we can cover more in depth. No, I'm not interested. Okay. 2 weeks later. Hey, last time, here's a copy. Or hey, new training. You want a copy? I do. Great. Oh, by the way, last time we spoke, you were trying to do that. How's that going? It's going great. I don't need help. 2 weeks later. It's going great. I don't need help. 2 weeks later. I'm stuck. I need help. Every single day. Grant has a call Saturday. Guy goes, "No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Hey, I'm interested." People are like, oh, they say they're not interested. Move on. Wrong. That's stupid. Plant a seed. Be patient. So how often? Every 2 weeks, using value. This right here, you should dedicate about, I would say, 2 hours a week or 2 hours a day if it's free time. If you're doing this full time, 2 hours a day. Honestly, you could probably get away with 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. That's it. If you're like, I've got a full-time job, make your YouTube video on Saturday, spend the whole day. The rest of this does not take that long. You can engage in other people's audiences on your breaks. Don't tell me it's not possible. I did it. So do not tell me it's not possible. 1 hour a day goes to this, and then another 1 hour a day goes to operating in other people's audiences. You guys see me commenting in high-level group pages? I'm taking my own medicine. That puts my name out there. I had a post today. I go, oh yeah, or post the other day. Someone goes, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I said, you know what? Here's what I would do. I said, I love this idea. I wouldn't do that. Here's what I would do. Oh, here's a video. Posted that video. I got 18 subscribers, and my YouTube channel is now crossed the threshold for monetization, and I'll be monetized next week. All I'm doing is the same crap that I'm telling you guys. What is 1 + 1? I need a really good mathematician here to tell me 1 + 1.
Two.
2 hours a day.
And
2 hours a day. Yeah. 21, right? 2 hours a day. I'm working on that stuff. 2 hours a day. And then I go on group calls or client calls or kickoff calls. I'm working 4 hours a day. That's it. If I want to work more, I work more. If I don't, I don't. 4 hour days. That's it. And I do the Facebook messaging thing at the gym. I go to the gym, hit some weights, hop on Facebook, comment. Go look at the time that I'm commenting. There's a reason why it's always the same time. This is it. It's not complicated. The problem is that I'll say this, we're gonna wrap up in about 6 minutes. So here's the problem, that if you guys are like, well, this is not working for me. If you come to me saying I'm not getting who I want to get, it's because you don't know who you want to work with, and you're not talking to them. Why? You are not somebody worthy to be talked to. Anybody see someone, they're like, uh, it'll be like the most repulsive looking man ever, and he's like, man, she's not pretty. She is not a 10 out of 10. It's like, my brother, or do you own a mirror? Do you possess a mirror? Because who are you, right? If you want to be with a dream client, you have to also be a dream service provider. Why should they work with you? This is not, oh, they shouldn't, I'm a loser. No, you have to be creative. When I had nothing, I said, I'm going to do what these really good guys do because I don't have proof of concept. I'm going to dedicate this. I'm going to have a guarantee where I'll work with you until we achieve ABC, and I'm going to do it for the fifth the price. I will find a way. How can we work together? How can I position myself as somebody desirable? If you're like, there's nothing desirable about me, and I don't mean this in a like judgmental way, but like if you're like, there's nothing special about me, you A, don't want it bad enough, B, need a therapist. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like you really do, because your self view is so bad. Go look at any major business. They're not the smartest people. They're just dedicated, relentless, shameless almost. How? How you need to grow an audience. You need to be focused. You need to be social and be human. Give yourself permission to not be perfect. That's a stupid idea. If you want to be perfect, nobody's perfect. Again, remember the guys who are always like, oh, she's kind of ugly. It's like, bro, do you own a mirror? They're usually like, you could shave a dog's butt, have it walk backwards, and it'd probably be better looking, right? Anyone who is not receptive or even just respectful, like, what's my biggest fear? They're gonna be really mean to me and not like me. If they're not respecting your why and how, do you think that's a who you want to work with? No, duh. Again, would you want to be in a romantic relationship with somebody who talks down on you because you're not where you want to be in life? No. But when I say it that way, it's like, duh. But when we put it in a client spec, you're like, oh, they said something mean about me. Leave them. How often? Every 2 stinking weeks. You can make a document, read it in front of the screen once every 2 weeks, post it, let it be bad. I'm gonna pull up my YouTube right now. You think I have any shame? I probably need a little bit. Let's pull up Alex YouTube. I'm exposing myself on my own live. Like, do you guys like look at this? Let's go to my look at these thumbnails. These don't look too bad, right? These don't look too bad. All right. I got you guys. I got you. Look at these. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And this video got me like 30 clients. Or not 30 clients, like 30 affiliates. Look how bad these are. Look at this. How to evolve. I mean, this is still good information, but look at this. It's not even a thumbnail. It's a loom still from a Chromebook webcam. Look at this. But you guys are worried about how you're going to come off. And now check this out. If I pop this open, look at these comments. I wish I met you before I signed up. If you're still sharing, I would love your document. Look at this. I want your document. Hey, more document. Can I get a document? Can I get a document? Can I get a document? Look at this. But if you guys are so worried about how people are perceiving you, to where you're like, oh, I would like think about it, like who of you are like, I wish I could be at that point where people are reaching out to me, right? But it's like, are you doing are you going through the crap that I had to go through, that everybody had to go through? This is not like unique to Alec, but are you willing to go through that same kind of situation? If the answer is no, then why would you think about it? Like, why would you deserve to get that at that point, right? It's like, I want to be in shape. Are you going to the gym? No, you don't deserve to be in shape. I want to be married to a nice person. Are you a nice person? No, you don't deserve a nice person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My husband's the nice person. So we kind of
You're
balance,
probably nicer than you think.
so we balance it. I don't know. You might want to ask him. He's like, you're rough around the edges, honey. It's okay. Said it's my tone and my delivery. If you can fix that.
Tell him, tell him you were tone and delivery is the way that you love him.
Yeah.
So that's it for tonight. Like I really, just as we wrap up, I really wish that it were more complicated. And I think a lot of people want it to be more complicated, even though they say they don't. A lot of people want it to be like, there's a silver thing, there's this little thing. It's like at the end of the day, it's just doing the work. And like that's the part that scares the most amount of people. That's what I was joking with Omar the other day about chores. I was like, thinking about doing the dishes is not doing the dishes. Folding the laundry to avoid doing the dishes is not doing the dishes. And what's funny is I'm a big, gym guy, as you guys know. I got that little D-bag side of my personality that I love to share. But I love the gym. And when I went to the gym overseas, which is where I started lifting, which is a very not fun place to start working out. It's like, Middle East. If you're in the Middle East and you work out, props to you because golly, it's hot. But I remember like nobody wanted to do legs. Like no guys wanted to work out legs. And I'm like, legs suck when you think about it. And when you go to do it, you're like, I'm out of breath. But if I have good leg muscles and no one else does, that's a flex. And what happens is you start like the moment, what you're going through, the workout sucks, but the end results are amazing. And you get tied to understanding there's a positive correlation between this workout sucking to me getting good results. And then from the other side of that becomes now I love the work because it sucked, but I equate that to results. So now I love this part that I thought sucked because I know I'm going to get something great out of it. So what do I say that for? If you are engaging with your people and providing insane amounts of value, if you are engaging every day, doing the thing, you're like, wow, this thing again. I've answered the same question 50,000 times and I still do it with a smile on my face because I know when I put in those reps, when I leave that, it turns into clients. So take it from me. You've got to basically inspire them to want to work with you by constantly putting in that bare level, just effort.
Hey, Alec, when did you say the AI thing was going to start, that you were going to do some AI stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on some AI stuff going into March.
Okay. Will you at any point, maybe and I'm guilty, I haven't looked at the whole, maybe I missed it, but like reporting, like just the dashboard reporting.
I'm gonna be doing some
like,
reporting
there's
next
a lot
week,
of things.
actually.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a lot there to choose from, and I just don't know what I should be telling them to look at. Or if
Yeah, I
I
would.
should,
Yeah, we'll cover that next week. We're gonna go into how to create the dashboard around the growth revenue, and then have that be in reporting.
okay. And will you give us some tips at some point, like about doing audits? Because I mean, I agreed to do an audit, but I'm not 100% sure what else.
For an audit, yeah, we can look at audits too. Most of the audits is basically like, are we tracking it?
Mhm.
When we're tracking, look at the numbers. Are these numbers good, or how can we improve them?
Okay.
Most of what they're doing is not tracked.
Yeah. Okay. But thank you.
Yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you guys coming out. Next week, we're gonna get into the reporting side of things, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Because again, it sounds boring, but when you know how it leads to getting money and keeping them, that reporting is huge anti-churn measures. Because you get the report and you can see, okay, here's what I need to fix. They get the report and they can see, okay, here's where the money's coming in. And if you email them after the report and say, hey, here's kind of like context on the report and here's the things I want to work on, they're gonna see, okay, I see the report, money's coming in, reviews coming in. Ooh, this is not good. And then boop, I get an email. Hey, report came in, here's the good, here's the bad, and here's our plan to attack it. It's like, dude, that's the best. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate you guys coming out. Again, any questions, you can hop in the group and make a post. But I'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Thank you.